19% below. That is where employment of 22 to 25-year-olds in the most AI-exposed jobs now sits, against where it would be if it had kept pace with their less exposed peers. And it comes from a Stanford paper posted 4 days ago off the payroll records of millions of American workers. Here is the part that got left out of almost every headline. The first finding in that same paper, one sentence earlier in the same abstract, is that there is no evidence of widespread, economy-wide job displacement. Both sentences are true. Both are on page 1. Today we read the paper. The claim we are testing is the one you have heard in some form every week for 2 years. That artificial intelligence is causing mass job losses right now. Not might, not by 2030, now. It is a claim about the present tense, which makes it checkable, and until recently it mostly could not be checked. Because the government surveys that measure employment are either too slow or too coarse to see one age group inside one kind of occupation. This paper exists to close exactly that gap, so it is the fairest test available. The paper is called Canaries in the Coal Mine: 6 Facts About the Recent Employment Effects of Artificial Intelligence. The authors are Erik Brynjolfsson, Bharat Chandar, and Ruyu Chen, all at Stanford. The data is administrative payroll records from ADP, the payroll processor, covering millions of United States workers through June of this year. That matters more than it sounds. This is not a survey where people report what they think happened. It is the record of who actually got paid, which is the difference between an opinion and a receipt. So, fact 1. And I'm going to read it exactly as written because paraphrasing this one would be doing the thing this channel exists to stop. We find no evidence of widespread economy-wide job displacement. That is the first of 6 numbered findings from the people with the payroll data published this month. If the mass job losses claim were happening at the scale it is usually stated, this data would be where it showed up first, and it does not. Then fact 2, which is the 19%. Read it carefully, because it is not a 19% fall. It is a shortfall against a path. Take 22 to 25-year-olds in the jobs most exposed to AI, and compare them to 22 to 25-year-olds in the jobs least exposed. If the exposed group had kept pace with the unexposed group, there would be about 19% more of them employed than there are. That is a different sentence from 19% of them lost their jobs, and the difference is the whole video. And the same sentence adds this, which almost nobody repeats. Experienced workers show no comparable gap. The paper also gives it in plain levels, which is the version you can hold in your head. Take the 2 most exposed fifths of occupations. Employment of 22 to 25-year-olds in them fell about 11% between November 2022 and June 2026. Take the 3 least exposed fifths. The same age group there grew about 10%. Same 4 years, same age bracket, opposite directions. 11 down against 10 up. That gap is where the 19 comes from, and stated that way you can see both that it is real and that it is a story about one slice of the labor market rather than all of it. Fact 4 is the one that changes what you should actually worry about. In the paper's words, it operates primarily through reduced hiring of young workers rather than increased separations. Nobody is being marched out. The jobs are not being opened. That is a harder thing to see because a layoff makes news and a job that was never posted makes none, and it lands entirely on the person who has not got in yet, rather than the person already inside. The paper puts it directly. The slowdown in entry-level hiring in AI-exposed occupations has driven overall stagnation in employment growth for young workers. Fact 5 is the one I would put on a wall. The declines are concentrated in occupations where AI usage primarily substitutes for human tasks. Where the usage primarily complements workers, employment is flat or rising, especially for experienced workers. So the split is not between jobs that touch AI and jobs that do not. Almost every job touches it now. The split is between being replaced at a task and being handed a tool, and the paper measures those separately and gets opposite answers. There is a related finding underneath it. Declines show up in occupations built on codified knowledge, the kind you can write down. Occupations built on tacit knowledge, the kind you learn by doing it badly for a few years, see faster employment growth for experienced workers. Fact 6. Quickly, because it answers a question people ask. Adjustment is occurring through employment rather than base compensation. Wages in the exposed jobs are not being quietly cut. The people who are in these roles are being paid normally. The adjustment shows up in how many of them there are, which again means the cost is falling on the person outside the building. Now the part I respect most, and the part you will not see in the coverage. The headline number changed, and the authors flag it themselves. Earlier versions of this study headlined "Regression Estimates Adjusting for Firm-Level Shocks," a 13% relative decline as of July 2025 data, 16% as of September. They now emphasize a simpler descriptive divergence, which requires no modeling choices, and by that same measure the shortfall was 15% at the July 2025 vintage, and has widened to 19 as of June 2026. So if you have seen 13 and now 19, and assumed the problem nearly doubled, it did not. Those are two different rulers. On the ruler being used now, it went from 15 to 19, and they go further, which is why this paper is worth 8 minutes of anyone's time. They say plainly that this does not estimate a causal impact of AI, that these are descriptive facts, and that ongoing work is needed to determine how much of it is caused by generative AI, rather than merely correlated with it. Then they list 3 things that cut against their own result. The patterns attenuate when you control for education. Some of the divergence between these occupations predates generative AI, particularly around the pandemic, and the effect is more pronounced in their ADP sample than in the national survey benchmarks. A paper that hands you the 3 best arguments against itself is doing the job properly. Against those, they set 4 things. The gap kept widening through mid-2026, long after interest rates peaked, so a rates story does not explain the timing. By late 2022, the exposed occupations had already recovered to roughly their pre-pandemic position, so this is a fall below that line rather than a return to it. The declines load specifically on AI used for automation, with a clear pattern by age that an interest rate or remote work story would not predict. And the result holds when you throw out the technology sector entirely, and when you throw out computer occupations entirely. So the verdict, 3 parts, and one of them is a shrug on purpose. First, the mass job losses claim does not hold. The best real-time payroll data in the country says there is no evidence of widespread economy-wide displacement, and that is finding number 1 from the people who ran it. Second, something narrower and real is happening, and it is aimed at one group. Entry-level hiring in the occupations where AI substitutes for tasks has stalled, 11% down against 10% up for the same age group elsewhere. Third, on whether AI caused it. The honest verdict is too early to say, and I am not going to upgrade that for you. The authors refuse the causal claim, and they have the data. Anyone stating it flatly has less evidence than they do, not more. What to do with that? If you are already in one of these jobs with a few years behind you, the paper's own answer is that your age group shows no comparable gap, and the growth is in work built on the judgment you cannot write down. If you are 22 and applying, this is the real picture, and it is not that you are being replaced. It is that the door is opening less often in one set of occupations, while it opens more in another, and the paper names which is which by whether AI substitutes or complements. And if you are the person doing the hiring, fact 4 is the one to sit with, because a hiring freeze at the bottom is a decision somebody is making, and in 4 years it is the reason there is nobody to promote. Here's what would change this call. If the next vintage of this data shows the 19 flattening or narrowing, the widening story is over, and we will say so with the number. If the national survey benchmarks catch up to the ADP panel, the concern about their sample goes away, and the finding gets stronger. If a later version restores a causal estimate that survives review, the too early to say verdict is wrong, and we will mark it wrong here. And we are recording the number and the date today on this ruler at 19% as of June 2026, so that next year there is something specific to mark. Quick question, and I read these. If you have hired for an entry-level role in the last year, did you post it, or did you decide the work could be absorbed? That decision is the whole finding, and the people making it are the only ones who can say why. Every number in this video is sourced. The list is the first link in the description, with the paper, the page each figure sits on, and the date. It is a free PDF, so you can open it and check me line by line. I would rather be corrected than believed. If this is landing close to your own work, and you want the version about earning with these tools rather than being sorted by them, that is broken down at clearwaythrough.com. One claim per video, checked against the primary document with the arithmetic on screen, Monday and Wednesday.